friends, and welcome to another reading time with Ring Around Ronina. So today I'm so excited to share with you this beautifully written and beautifully illustrated book about friendship. This one is called Encounter, and it's written by Brittany Luby and illustrated by Michaela Goade. I also wanted to show you the front cover of the book, which is a beautiful illustration of part of the ocean. And here you can see the two characters, and you can see the rays of the sun and the white sand. Okay, now let's get started with the story. Encounter. Sun rose to light all creation. He woke seagull and mouse from their nests. He coaxed mosquito from a long blade of grass. He chuckled as crab retreated inside her shell. When the coastline buzzed with life, Sun woke the two-leggeds with a burst of light. This is Fisher. He tried to shoo Sun away by wiggling his toes. So Sun tickled Fisher's knees. Fisher rolled onto his belly. Sun persisted and gently warmed Fisher's neck. Fisher woke at last to welcome the day ahead. "I will paddle to waters thick with mackerel," he said. Fisher turned his canoe, loaded his nets, and pushed into the ocean. This is Sailor. He came from away. He tried to block Sun by pulling a cap over his eyes. Sun peeked through the fabric knit with love. "Wake up, Sailor," Sun whispered. At last, Sailor smiled. "Today I will explore unknown lands in a new world." Sailor lowered the boat from the ship. He rowed toward shore. Sun had not traveled far when Fisher and Sailor padded into the same bay. Fisher knew the bay like the curve of his fingernail, but he did not know Sailor. "Am I dreaming?" Fisher wondered. He rubbed his eyes. Sailor remained. Sailor was puzzled too. Perhaps these lands are not so new. Both Sailor and Fisher hesitated, but the tide did not pause. It nudged them inland. Encouraged, they pulled their boats onto the rocky shore. With his canoe secure, Fisher greeted Sailor. "Quay, quay." Fisher watched Sailor's eyes open wide like jellyfish. "He speaks differently than me," Sailor thought, but he replied, "Salute, salutations." Sailor watched Fisher's forehead wrinkle like an earthworm. "We do not sound the same," Fisher thought, but he waved cautiously at Sailor. "You are not so different," squawked Seagull, who flew overhead. "You both cast long shadows." Sailor tried to explain his journey across the water by drawing in the sand. As Sailor sketched, his red wool cap fell to the ground. Fisher laughed. He imagined Lobster had leapt off Sailor's head to scramble to the ocean. The wind lifted Fisher's hair. Sailor chuckled. He thought Fisher's hair looked like a horse's tail. Look at them. It looks like they're having fun, huh? "You have much in common," Mosquito buzzed. "You both taste delicious." Sun now sat directly overhead, and Sailor was getting hungry. Sounds like it's lunchtime. His stomach grumbled. Sailor pulled sea bread from his pocket. He gnawed at the edge before offering it to Fisher, who took a bite. "I would rather chew wood," Fisher thought, and returned the sea bread. Fisher offered Sailor a handful of sunflower seeds. Sailor popped them into his mouth. I would rather eat pebbles, he spat, peppering the ground with unopened seeds. Fisher laughed. You must crack open the shell. Wordlessly, Fisher taught Sailor how to reach the heart of the seed. Mouse was grateful for their crumbs. Lucky me, Mouse said. A feast! So over here you can see the crumbs of the sea bread. And then you can see over here the sunflower seeds. Oh, and look, right there are Fisher and Sailor. Sun blazed west, so that means the sun was already setting. Sailor saw sweat beading on Fisher's chest. Does he not burn? Sailor wondered. He is almost bare. Fisher watched sweat race down Sailor's temples from underneath his cap. Is he not boiling? Fisher wondered. He is heavily dressed. Fisher pointed at the waves, and Sailor beamed. Together, they jumped in. Oh, wow, look at them swimming and having so much fun. Crab woke briefly to admire both swimmers. What fine figures, Crab thought. They each found a shell to suit them. Sailor and Fisher returned to shore, where whistling in the bay alerted them that 2 beluga whales had come to play. Fisher whistled back. Sailor too. They chased the whales along the shore. Good game, you'd make a strong pod, the belugas bellowed, and disappeared beneath the sparkling waves. Look at the waves. Before the sun fell, Sailor and Fisher parted with a sleepy smile. Fisher set up camp. He unrolled a cedar mat under his canoe. Fisher placed the tobacco into the fire. He prayed for another friendly encounter and lay down to rest. Sailor returned to the ship. He pulled his straw mat onto the deck. Sailor wished on a star for fewer chores and another chance to meet Fisher before the long journey home. Moon watched Sailor and Fisher fall asleep. She shone on their 10 fingers. She shone on their 10 toes. Moon listened to their 2 hearts beat. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. She heard the beauty of all living things. The end. And that book was called Encounter. I hope you enjoyed that story.